She whispered, "It hurts down there." The billionaire froze. When he discovered the truth, if you believe that compassion can save a soul before medicine does, stay with this story. Because sometimes, what begins as pain becomes the very thing that heals two broken hearts. Now, let us return to our main character. The white light above the private hospital suite hummed softly, steady and sterile. Beyond the tinted glass, rain tapped against the window like a heartbeat trying to be heard. Inside, Anna Monroe, the young nurse with shoulder-length hair, moved quietly around the bed, adjusting the IV line of the man who had been asleep for almost 8 months. Grant Hale, billionaire, founder of Hale Tech, 34 years old, a man who once ruled the skyline of Manhattan with his empire and now lay motionless under pale sheets, machines breathing for him. Anna had been assigned this case 3 weeks ago, though most nurses refused to take it. They said the patient was unresponsive, that his fiancé controlled everything, and that the room felt cursed. But Anna needed the money. Her little brother, Jamie, was waiting for heart surgery. So, she had said yes. She checked his chart, noting the strange mix of medications, then glanced toward the door. Empty hallway. Her steps echoed softly. As she leaned over to clean the line near his chest, a faint sound slipped through the room. "It hurts down there." Anna froze. The cloth dropped from her hand. The voice was weak, barely a breath, but it was real. She looked at his face. His eyes were still closed, lashes still, but a single tear slid down his temple. "Mr. Hale?" she whispered. "Can you hear me?" No response. Only the steady beep of the heart monitor. She swallowed hard, convinced her mind was playing tricks. Still, something inside her said it was not a hallucination. She pressed the call button. No one came. Outside, thunder rolled over the city. She sat down beside the bed, heart racing, and reached for his hand. His skin was warm, alive. "Grant," she said quietly, "if you can hear me, move your fingers." A second passed, then another. Nothing. She sighed, covering her mouth to hide the tremor in her breath. But when she looked up, the heart rate monitor blinked faster, just for a moment, like a heartbeat answering hers. Anna stared at the numbers, then at his face again. She knew how impossible it sounded, yet every instinct told her that he was trying to speak. She reached for the chart again, her brow furrowing as she noticed the heavy dosage of sedatives listed. Too high. Higher than any patient in recovery should be receiving. She made a note, quietly drawing a question mark in the margin. The door opened. Evelyn Laurent, Grant's fiancée, a tall woman with waist-length hair, perfect posture, and eyes like cold glass, stepped inside. "You are new," Evelyn said. "Just remember your job is to keep him stable. Do not change anything. Do not touch what you do not understand." Anna nodded, forcing a polite smile. "Of course." When the door clicked shut again, the room fell silent except for the rhythmic beeping of the machines. She exhaled slowly, then looked back at the man on the bed. "I do not know if you can hear me," she said softly, "but I will keep you safe tonight." Coz. Outside, the rain thickened, blurring the lights of the city. Inside, a nurse's whisper met a billionaire's silence, and for the first time in months, something unseen stirred between life and death. The night stretched long, and Anna stayed by his side, unaware that the words he had spoken, those few painful syllables, would soon uncover a truth darker than any wound on his body. Before we continue, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our channel's new videos. It is quick, free, and the best way to support us in bringing you more dramatic stories. Your support means the world to us. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now let us continue the story. The next morning, the hospital halls buzzed softly with the low hum of machines and the faint shuffle of nurses changing shifts. Anna Monroe had barely slept. She kept replaying that voice in her mind. "It hurts down there." She tried to convince herself it had been a dream, but the memory of the tear running down Grant's face felt too real. She opened her small locker in the nurse's station, took out her notebook, and wrote the time of the whisper. 2:47 amperes. Dr. Harris, the head of neurology, appeared at the end of the corridor, tall and composed with his usual calm tone. "You are on the Hale case now, right?" he asked. "Yes, sir," Anna said quickly. "I thought he spoke last night. Just a few words. I could be wrong, but—" He raised a hand gently. "Do not dismiss what you heard. Patients in deep coma can sometimes respond subconsciously. Keep observing. Take detailed notes." Anna nodded, relieved that he did not think she was imagining things. "Thank you, Doctor." As Dr. Harris walked away, Evelyn's heels clicked down the hallway sharp, precise, like a metronome of control. She was dressed in a fitted black suit, her long hair falling perfectly straight down her back. "Good morning, Miss Monroe," Evelyn said, her voice smooth but distant. "How is my fiancé today?" "Stable," Anna replied carefully. "Vitals are consistent." Evelyn's gaze swept over the monitors. "Good. Keep it that way. And please remember, no experimental procedures, no unnecessary adjustments." Anna swallowed. "Understood." Evelyn gave a faint, polite smile before gliding out of the room. But the scent of her expensive perfume lingered cold, metallic, and suffocating. When the door closed, Anna whispered under her breath, "No unnecessary adjustments, right?" She checked the IV line again. Something about it felt wrong. The label on the sedative bag read diazepam, 80 milligrams, too high. She had handled enough coma patients to know that even half that amount could suppress neural activity for days. She noted it discreetly, then opened her notebook again. Beneath the first line she wrote, "Day 4, patient stable. Possible verbal response. Medication dosage unusually strong." The rain outside had turned into sunlight, but the room still felt dim, as if the air itself refused to let go of the night. Anna sat near the window, reading her patient's medical file. Most pages were clean. 2 clean, neat summaries, minimal notes, nothing inconsistent. That in itself made her uneasy. Then she found something odd. An attached page listed Grant's allergy record. Allergic to diazepam. Her hands went cold. She stood, heart pounding, and stared at the IV bag again. If he is allergic, why is he receiving it? Anna bit her lip, fighting the urge to pull the plug right then. But one reckless move could cost her license, and her brother's surgery depended on this job. She needed proof first. That night, she placed her phone beside the heart monitor, switched on the voice recorder, and whispered, "If you can hear me, please try again." Hours passed in silence. The clock ticked past midnight. Then, a faint exhale, a whisper, clearer this time. "They lie." Anna sat up straight. "Who lies, Grant? Who hurt you?" No reply. Only the steady rhythm of his breathing. But something about the way his eyelids fluttered made her skin crawl. The recorder captured every sound, the beeps, the thunder rolling in the distance, and his broken whisper. She pressed stop and saved the file. Her hands trembled as she looked at the man who was supposed to be unconscious. "I will find out what they did to you," she whispered. "I promise." Outside, the city lights flickered through the rain. Inside, one nurse began a silent investigation that would soon expose the dark truth hiding inside the Hale family empire. The rain had stopped, but the air inside the private hospital suite still carried a heavy silence. The clock above the door ticked softly, marking the hours since Anna recorded Grant's mysterious whisper. She had listened to the audio again and again, his voice weak but clear enough to chill her blood. They lie. Anna tucked the small recorder into her pocket and stared at the machines around him. Every light blinked in rhythm, as if nothing had happened. The sterile calm of the room almost made her doubt her own senses. But deep down, she knew what she had heard. That morning, Dr. Harris entered the room for rounds. "You look exhausted, Miss Monroe," he said, checking the chart. "I could not sleep," she admitted. "Doctor, may I ask something off record? These sedative levels are high, and there is a note that Mr. Hale is allergic to diazepam." Dr. Harris paused, his brows knitting. "That is impossible. The dosage was approved by his personal physician. I will verify it." He did not look entirely convinced, but he gave her a nod. "Be careful, Anna. There are politics around this case. Stay within your limits." After he left, Anna stood by the window, watching the faint sun reflect on the wet pavement outside. Her reflection in the glass looked smaller than she felt tired eyes, a nurse's uniform, and a heart that refused to ignore the truth. When the afternoon shift arrived, she slipped into the supply room. The shelves were lined with medication vials, each labeled neatly. She checked the record log. The sedative batch number on Grant's file matched none of the official stock. Someone had replaced it. Anna quickly copied the number onto a sticky note and hid it inside her notebook. Back in the room, she resumed her routine. Clean sheets, fresh towels, new flowers in the vase, her own touch to make the air feel human. She folded a piece of paper into another paper rose and placed it on the nightstand beside Grant's hand. "If you really can't hear me," she whispered, "this will be our sign. I will leave one here every day until you wake up." The monitor beeped once, louder than before, almost like an answer. Anna's lips curved into the smallest smile. Hours passed. The hum of the machines became background music to her thoughts. She opened the notebook again, documenting everything. This time she added a new line. Plant paper rose left on bedside. Unofficial symbol of communication. Her handwriting shook slightly as she wrote. It was no longer just medical duty, it was a silent promise. As evening settled, Evelyn returned, her heels echoing through the corridor. She stopped at the doorway, her long hair gleaming under the fluorescent lights. "I see you are making yourself comfortable here," she said with a thin smile. "I am simply doing my job," Anna replied calmly. Evelyn's eyes fell on the paper rose. "What is this?" "Decoration," Anna said softly. "Something peaceful." Evelyn tilted her head, amused. "How poetic." "But do not mistake this for a storybook. Mr. Hale is not waking up. He never will. People need to accept that." When she left, the door shut harder than necessary, rattling the glass. Anna exhaled, heart pounding. That night, she stayed by Grant's side again, whispering quiet words about her brother's surgery, her fears, and the hope she refused to lose. Around midnight, the air shifted. The heart monitor quickened for 2 beats, then steadied again. Anna froze. His fingers twitched, barely visible, but real. She pressed her palm over his hand and whispered, "I know you are fighting. I will not let them silence you again." The rain returned outside, tapping softly against the glass. And in that fragile silence, between the sound of the storm and the beeping of machines, a bond began to form, one that would soon change both of their lives forever. By the 5th night, the hospital felt like a world that never slept. The hallway outside Grant Hale's suite glowed with soft amber light, the kind that made time feel slow. Anna Monroe sat beside his bed, reading her notes for the 100th time. Each page carried a timeline of whispers, dosage changes, and every strange twitch of his hand. The recorder lay on the table, its red light blinking steadily. She had captured everything: the voice, the silence, and the proof that Grant was trying to speak. She looked at the paper rose she had left that morning. The edges were slightly crushed, as if someone had touched it. "Grant," she whispered, "if you can hear me, move your fingers again." Nothing happened for a moment. Then one small movement. His index finger lifted just enough for her to see. Anna gasped quietly, tears filling her eyes. "I knew it," she said under her breath. "You are in there." The sound of footsteps in the hallway made her snap her head up. She quickly straightened the sheets and turned off the recorder. The door opened, and Evelyn Laurent entered with 2 men in black suits. "Miss Monroe," Evelyn said, her tone polite but sharp. "We will be transferring Mr. Hale to a private facility tomorrow morning. His condition requires specialized treatment." Anna's stomach dropped. "That is impossible," she said. "He is responding." He moved his fingers. "Please, he needs to stay here." Evelyn's eyes hardened. "You are not a neurologist. Do not overstep your position. The decision has already been made." She turned to leave, but Anna spoke again, her voice trembling. "Does Dr. Harris know about this?" Evelyn stopped at the door, her long hair swaying. "He will receive the notice tonight. You may return to your regular duties once the transfer is complete." When they left, the room felt colder than before. Anna pressed both hands to her face, trying to calm the panic rising in her chest. She looked at Grant's still face and whispered, "I will not let them take you." The rest of the night passed in heavy silence. Every sound seemed amplified: the soft hum of the machines, the distant thunder rolling over the city, and the beating of her own heart. At dawn, she hurried to Dr. Harris's office. He looked tired, his eyes shadowed with something close to guilt. "Doctor, they are moving him," Anna said. "Evelyn is transferring him tonight. Please, you have to stop it." Dr. Harris rubbed his temples. "I received the papers an hour ago. It is beyond my authority now. The transfer is signed under family consent." "Then it is wrong consent," Anna said firmly. "He spoke to me. He said someone was lying." Harris hesitated, staring at her as if weighing something heavy. Then he sighed. "I trust you, Anna, but we need proof." She opened her notebook and placed the voice recorder on his desk. "This is proof. Listen." He pressed play. The faint sound of beeping filled the room, followed by Grant's weak, broken whisper, "They lied." Dr. Harris's eyes widened. "My God." Anna leaned forward. "Help me keep him here until we can confirm what is really happening. Please." He nodded slowly. "I will stall the transfer. But be careful. Evelyn is powerful, and she will not like being questioned." Anna exhaled in relief, clutching the recorder like a lifeline. "Thank you, doctor." As she walked back toward the patient's room, The morning sun poured through the windows, golden and fragile. She paused at the doorway, watching the man on the bed, his chest rising and falling, a quiet miracle waiting to happen. She whispered to herself, "Hold on, Grant, just one more day." What she did not know was that the next 24 hours would change everything, and the truth she was about to uncover would be far darker than she ever imagined. The day of the transfer arrived like a storm hiding behind a quiet morning. Inside the hospital, everything looked normal: nurses changing sheets, doctors making rounds, but beneath the calm, Anna Monroe could feel the tension twisting through the air. Dr. Harris had managed to delay the transfer by one day, buying her precious hours. But Evelyn Laurent was not the kind of woman who accepted obstacles. Anna knew that when Evelyn wanted something done, she made it happen. She entered Grant's room to begin her shift. The blinds were half open, and sunlight painted pale stripes across his face. He looked peaceful, almost too peaceful. She checked his vitals and noticed the sedation dosage had changed again overnight. Her pulse quickened. She looked at the new IV bag. The label was different this time, handwritten, no official stamp. Anna pulled out her notebook and wrote down the new code. Then she checked his allergy record again. Severe reaction to diazepam. The bag contained the same drug. Someone was trying to silence him permanently. Her hands trembled as she whispered, "No, not today." She turned off the line feeding into his arm, then replaced it with a saline bag from the cabinet. The monitor beeped softly as his vitals stabilized. She leaned closer. "Grant, if you can hear me, you need to fight. They are trying to stop you." The door creaked open. Anna spun around, her heart hammering. Evelyn stood there, holding a folder. Her long hair glimmered under the fluorescent light like a sheet of gold. "I hope you are not doing anything reckless," Evelyn said, her tone light but sharp as glass. "I am caring for my patient," Anna replied evenly. Evelyn stepped closer, eyes scanning the machines. "Good, because the transport team will arrive at midnight. He will be moved, and your assignment will be over." She placed the folder on the table and turned to leave. But before she reached the door, Anna spoke, voice firm but trembling. "Why are you doing this? He does not need more sedatives. He needs help." Evelyn froze, her back still to Anna. "You think I am hurting him?" Anna did not answer. The silence said enough. Evelyn turned, her face unreadable. Grant built a world where power meant everything. He destroyed lives to keep his empire. You have no idea who he really is. Then she walked out, heels echoing down the hallway. Anna stood there, shaken but certain. Whatever Evelyn's reasons were, none could justify what she was doing. That evening, Dr. Harris came to her office, his face pale. "Anna," he said quietly, "I checked the medication log. Those sedatives were not prescribed by any hospital doctor. The orders came from an external source, Hale Tech's private lab." Her eyes widened. "That means—" "Yes," he said. "This is deliberate." Anna felt her throat tighten. "Then we have to stop it." Cabal. Together they returned to Grant's room. The sun had already set, and the faint hum of the city below mixed with the rhythmic sound of the heart monitor. "Doctor." Harris checked his pupils, his pulse, and then whispered, "He is fighting through the drugs. His body wants to wake up." Anna reached for Grant's hand, squeezing it gently. "You are not alone," she whispered. A flicker passed through his eyelids. His fingers moved again. Dr. Harris's breath caught. "He is coming back. Lay." At that moment, the heart monitor jumped a sudden spike, then steady again. Grant's lips parted slightly, his voice rough but audible. "Help me." Anna gasped. "We are right here. You are safe." Dr. Harris looked at her with disbelief and relief mixed together. He spoke. Tears filled Anna's eyes. For the first time she saw hope stronger than fear. But hope was dangerous. Outside the door, a shadow paused one of Evelyn's guards. Listening. He pulled out his phone and whispered, "He is awake." And just like that, the truth Anna had been fighting to uncover was about to ignite a war far beyond the walls of that hospital room. Grant Hale had spoken. 2 words fragile, broken, but unmistakably real. "Help me." Anna Monroe and Dr. Harris stood frozen, staring at him as if time had stopped. The heart monitor continued to beep steadily, proof that this was not a dream. The billionaire everyone believed was lost forever had just called out for help. Dr. Harris moved first, adjusting the monitor and flashlight. "Grant, can you hear me? Blink twice if you understand." The eyelids fluttered. Once, twice, then again, stronger. Anna covered her mouth, tears welling. "He is really fighting," she whispered. "Yes," Harris said quietly. "And that means whoever kept him under sedation wanted him silent. He leaned closer, checking the IV port. You replaced the bag, right? Anna nodded. I did. He was being poisoned with the wrong sedative. Dr. Harris took a deep breath. Then we act now, no more delays. They began to monitor his vitals closely, adjusting the oxygen flow and stabilizing his pulse. The man who had been a ghost for months was beginning to reclaim his body. Outside, the sound of footsteps echoed down the corridor, heavy, deliberate. Anna's stomach tightened. Evelyn must have been informed. Within seconds, the door swung open. Evelyn Laurent entered, flanked by 2 security guards. Her long hair flowed down her shoulders, her face pale but controlled. What is going on here? She demanded, her eyes sharp. Dr. Harris straightened. Mr. Hale is responding. He spoke. The sedatives are being discontinued. Evelyn's expression froze for half a second, then softened into disbelief. That is impossible. He cannot. Grant's voice, weak but clear, interrupted her. Evelyn. Every head turned toward the bed. His eyes were half open, unfocused but aware. Evelyn, why? Evelyn stumbled back, her breath catching. Grant, you need to rest. The doctors. No, he rasped. What did you do? Anna's heart pounded as she watched the confrontation unfold. Evelyn's mask cracked, her lips trembled. I did what I had to, she whispered. You were going to take everything away. You were signing the company to the foundation. They would have destroyed your legacy. Grant blinked slowly. You poisoned me. Evelyn's eyes filled with tears. I did not mean to hurt you. I just needed time to fix things. Dr. Harris stepped forward. Miss Laurent, please leave this room. This is no longer your authority. The guards hesitated, glancing between them. Evelyn looked at Anna, her expression shifting from guilt to hatred. You should have stayed out of this, she hissed. Anna stood her ground. Someone had to care about what was right. Evelyn's jaw clenched. She turned sharply and walked out, her heels striking the floor like gunshots. Once the door closed, Anna rushed back to the bedside. Grant's breathing was uneven but stronger now. He met her eyes for the first time, really seeing her. You saved me, he whispered. Anna shook her head, tears slipping down her cheeks. You saved yourself, Mr. Hale. I only listened. Dr. Harris adjusted the oxygen mask. He will need intensive care and protection. If Evelyn truly had control over the company, she will not stop easily. Anna nodded, gripping Grant's hand. Then we will keep him safe, whatever it takes. Outside, sirens echoed faintly in the distance. The first hint of dawn bled into the sky, brushing light across the hospital windows. In that pale morning glow, a truth had finally broken free. The billionaire who had been silenced had found his voice again, and beside him stood the nurse who refused to let him die quietly. But as the city woke, Anna could not shake the feeling that this victory was only the beginning. The people who wanted Grant Hale gone were still out there, and they had just lost control of their most dangerous secret. By sunrise, news had already leaked from the hospital. Grant Hale, the billionaire thought to be in a permanent coma, had regained consciousness. Within hours, reporters crowded outside the hospital gates. Helicopters hovered over the parking lot. The world wanted to see the man who had defied death. Inside, the tension was thick. Anna Monroe stood by the window of the private suite, clutching her notebook close to her chest. Dr. Harris paced near the monitors, speaking quietly on the phone. Grant was resting, his body weak but his mind clearing fast. Are we safe? Anna asked. For now, Harris said, but the press will not be the only ones coming. Hale Tech's board members are in chaos. Evelyn still controls a large part of the company. Anna glanced at Grant. He cannot face all that yet. Harris nodded. Then we protect him. You stay here. I will handle the administration. When he left, Anna moved closer to the bed. Grant's eyes opened slowly. He looked pale, fragile but alive. You are still here, he murmured. I am not leaving, Anna said gently. You need rest. Your body has been through hell. He gave a faint smile. So has yours. Before she could respond, a loud commotion erupted in the hallway. Voices, footsteps, and the click of cameras. The door burst open. Evelyn Laurent entered, her hair disheveled, her eyes red but her tone steady. Grant, she said, stepping forward, listen to me. You cannot believe what they are telling you. This nurse, this doctor, they want to turn you against me. Grant's jaw tightened. You drugged me. Evelyn's breath caught. I did what was necessary. The board was going to strip you of control. I wanted to protect what you built. Anna stood between them instinctively. You wanted to protect yourself, she said. You almost killed him. Evelyn's gaze flicked toward her, sharp as a blade. You have no idea what power does to people. You think kindness wins? It never does. Grant's voice rose hoarse, but strong. It does now. Security arrived seconds later. Doctor. Harris followed, holding a folder. We have proof, he said. The hospital records, the sedative orders, and the voice recording all under your authorization, Miss Laurent. Evelyn's face went pale. You cannot prove intent. Grant looked at her with exhaustion, not anger. You already did that yourself. As the guards escorted her away, she turned back one last time. You will regret this, Grant. The truth does not always heal. When the door finally closed, silence filled the room. Anna looked at Grant. He exhaled slowly, his shoulders trembling. It is over, she said softly. No, he replied. It is just beginning. He looked out the window, where sunlight broke through the morning clouds. When I leave this hospital, the world will know what happened and who saved me. Anna shook her head, smiling faintly. You do not owe me anything. He turned toward her. You are wrong. I owe you my life. And in that moment, amid the quiet hum of machines and the distant sound of reporters shouting outside, Grant Hale finally took back the power he had lost, not through money or control, but through truth. Weeks passed, and the hospital that had once been filled with whispers was now filled with hope. The headlines had shifted from Billionaire in coma to Grant Hale speaks out. Investigations were underway. Evelyn was facing trial, and Hale Tech was rebuilding from the scandal. Through it all, Anna Monroe stayed quietly by Grant's side. Her shifts were no longer about silence and fear, they were about progress. Each morning, she helped him take a few steps down the recovery hall, her hand steady on his arm. You are doing better every day, she said one afternoon, as sunlight streamed through the glass walls. Grant smiled faintly, breathless but determined. I used to think strength meant control. Now I know it just means standing up again. Jumzal. He paused by the bench near the window where a single paper rose sat in a glass frame. Anna had placed it there, the first one she ever folded. Do you still make those? He asked, looking at the rose. Every time I need to remember why I started, she replied. It reminds me that something fragile can still survive. Grant looked at her for a long moment. You kept me alive, Anna, but you also reminded me what life actually means. 1. Their eyes met, quiet understanding passing between them. The chaos outside those walls no longer mattered. Later that week, Dr. Harris brought good news. The board has approved your rehabilitation to continue at home, he said. They also want to launch a charity program under your name. Grant turned to Anna. A program for nurses, he said thoughtfully, for people who listen when others do not. Harris nodded. Exactly what we need. Come by. As the days blended into weeks, Grant grew stronger. The cane he once leaned on became unnecessary. But even as his body healed, he often returned to the hospital's garden, where Anna volunteered after her shifts. One evening he found her sitting by the fountain, folding another paper rose. The golden light of sunset painted everything warm. Still making them? He asked softly. She smiled. Old habits die hard. He sat beside her, quiet for a moment. You know, I was ready to give up everything before that accident. I thought I had seen it all. But you showed me what compassion looks like. Anna looked down, her voice tender. Compassion is just seeing someone as human again. Grant reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. Inside was a necklace, with a tiny rose charm made of glass. Then let me remind you that your kindness saved more than one life. It saved mine. Her eyes glistened, but she did not speak. The fountain whispered behind them, the world calm for the first time in a long while. Grant took her hand gently. We both needed healing, he said. We just found it in each other. And as the sky deepened into dusk, Anna realized that what began as a whisper of pain had become something rare, proof that love, when honest, could truly heal. 1 year later, the world knew Grant Hale not as the ruthless billionaire who had fallen into a coma, but as the man who turned his second chance into something greater. On a bright spring morning, people gathered outside the gates of a new hospital on the east side of the city. The sign read Rosenhall Foundation, named after the paper roses that had once sat quietly beside his hospital bed. Inside, Anna Monroe walked through the sunlit lobby in a simple white dress. Her short hair brushed her shoulders, and in her hands she carried a single red paper rose. The smell of fresh paint and flowers filled the air. Grant stood near the main entrance, greeting the guests, donors, doctors, and families who had come to celebrate the hospital's opening. His posture was strong now, his eyes brighter than ever. When he saw Anna, he smiled with quiet pride. You made it, he said softly. I would not miss it, she replied. It is beautiful, Grant. You did it. Kumgwal. He shook his head. We did it. They walked together down the hall to the dedication plaque. It read, "For those who listened when no one else did. For those who healed not with power, but with compassion." The guests applauded as Grant spoke. "This hospital is not about wealth," he said. "It is about mercy. It is about the people who stand beside others when they cannot stand on their own. Anna taught me that healing is not only a science, it is a choice." When the ceremony ended, the crowd began to leave, but Grant lingered near the garden behind the building. Rows of paper roses swayed in the wind, each one handmade by the staff as a tribute to the moment that had changed everything. Anna joined him quietly. "They turned the roses into the hospital's symbol," she said. "I never imagined something so small could matter this much." Grant looked at her, his voice gentle. "Neither did I." Youngly. He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. "Do you remember what you told me in the hospital? That compassion means seeing someone as human again?" Anna nodded, her breath catching. He opened the box. Inside was a simple ring, its band engraved with a tiny rose. "You reminded me what being human feels like. Will you stay by my side, not as my nurse, but as my partner in everything that comes next?" Her eyes filled with tears. "Yes," she whispered. Grant slipped the ring onto her finger. "You healed me before medicine did," he said. Anna smiled through her tears. "And you taught me that love can heal, too." As they stood together among the roses, sunlight poured over them, soft, golden, and alive. The whispers that once carried pain had become a promise. From a broken body came justice. From justice came healing. And from healing, love took root strong, quiet, and everlasting.